Hello and welcome to our software tutorial series. In this tutorial, we will walk you through how to enter business income into the Schedule C EZ in the tax preparation software. After completing this lesson, you should be able to enter business income and expense information using Schedule C EZ. Schedule C EZ can be used instead of Schedule C to report net profit from a business as long as certain requirements are met. These requirements are listed at the top of Schedule C EZ. To access Schedule C EZ in the software, click on line 12 of Form 1040, page 1, and press the F9 key. In the Entry Links window, select New Schedule C EZ from the list, and click OK. At the top of Schedule C EZ, select whether the business corresponds to either the taxpayer or spouse by marking the appropriate checkbox. On line A, Principal Business or Profession, type a description of the business activity. Line B requires a 6-digit code that identifies the principal business or professional activity. The codes can be found in the software by pressing F1 to open the software help. Locate and click the link. Click here for a list of business codes. From the list of categories, select the one that best describes the business activity. After selecting a category, locate the description that best identifies the principal business activity and highlight its 6-digit code. Right-click on the highlighted text and select Copy. Close the Software Help window. Select the Edit menu and select Paste Entry Text. The software enters the business code in the Line B entry. If there is a separate business name, type it on Line C. The Employer Identification Number, or EIN, goes on Line D. If there is no EIN, this field can be left blank. The business address goes on line E. If the business address is the same as the taxpayer's address on the main information sheet, this field can be left blank. If payments were made during the tax year that would require the taxpayer to file Form 1099, mark Yes on line F. Otherwise, select No. Answer the question on line G if Yes was the answer on line F. Otherwise, this question can be skipped. If the taxpayer received payments in their business through merchant cards and/or third-party networks, the total amount received should be reported on line 1A. These payments are reported to the taxpayer on Form 1099-K. Gross receipts or sales for the business are entered on line 1B. On Schedule C EZ, the total amount of expenses is entered on a single line. In order to include the details for various types of expenses, we will link to a scratchpad. On line 2, Total Expenses, press the F9 key. Select New Scratchpad and click OK. To enter the scratchpad, in the description field we'll type Schedule C EZ, line 2. In the first type entry, we'll enter the description of the first expense. Then in the first amount entry, we'll enter the total amount for this first expense. The same steps would be repeated on the subsequent lines for any other expense types and amounts. When done, press F10 to go back to Schedule C EZ. Part 3 is used to enter vehicle information, if one was used for the business. On line 4, type the 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and 4-digit year for the date the vehicle was placed in service for this business. Remember, you don't need to type the slashes, as the software does this automatically for you. On line 5A, enter the total number of miles the vehicle was driven in the tax year. Commuting and other miles would be reported on lines 5B and 5C. Enter the number of miles driven between July 1st, 2011 and December 31st, 2011. The software multiplies the number of miles driven by the standard mileage rate and displays the result. Answer the questions on lines 6 through 8B. The software does not automatically enter the standard mileage expense on line 2. To include this amount, we'll need to go back to the scratchpad we previously added. Go to line 2 and press F9. Select the existing scratchpad and click OK. Go to the next blank line and type standard mileage for the vehicle in the type column. Enter the standard mileage deduction amount from the previous section in the amount column. Press F10 to go back to the Schedule C EZ. The total expenses should now have calculated to line 2 and net profit calculated on line 3. The net profit from the business should calculate to this line. You should now be able to enter business income and expense information using Schedule C EZ. Thank you for viewing this tutorial.